Hello Crowley Time listeners, I'm Barry McStay.
I'm Ben van der Velde.
And we'd love you to listen to Worst Foot Forward, our podcast all about failure.
Each week we are joined by a guest to discuss the world's worst something, from detective to invasion, train to horror movie. We dive into humankind's darkest depths in search of the absolute pits.
We've even had your very own Mr. Tom Crowley on the show, where he talked about the world's worst remakes and confessed his deep sexual yearning for Pac-Man.
On Worst Foot Forward, we've learned that conspiracy theorists think rocks aren't really hard, why one French physicist invaded the Channel Island of Sark, and how exactly to make a wasp gun.
While also uncovering the Railway Station of the Dead, the doctor who put goat balls into human scrotums, and the West End musical funded by bird poo.
Subscribe to Worst Foot Forward on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts from.
Check out our website, worstfootforwardpodcast.com, and join us for some fun-filled zero worship.
And as you can see there, a gorgeous cluster of genuine imitation diamonds on the centrepiece, in the shape of Princess Margaret smoking a lovely ciggy, as she so often did in life.
Oh yes, that's lovely.
You can see the smoke effect there with the glass stones rising up towards the chain.
Yes, lovely. And how much is that one?
Well, Penny, our viewers can telephone at the usual number and pick this gorgeous pendant up for a mere £47.99.
Gosh, what a bargain. But don't forget that for the next half hour, you can get all of our royal family collection for half price, as it's Crowley time.
Hello, and welcome to Crowley Time with me, Tom Crowley. With me, Tom Crowley. You know, a lot of thought goes into producing this podcast. It's not just the writing, the recording and the editing, but the consideration, the contemplation. What material are you, the public, craving right now? What kind of comedy will lift people's spirits in troubled times? What sort of material seems most responsible to foreground? Is it too soon to do Link Tangent again? Questions like this plague me, the artist, me, Tom Crowley, every time I put pen to cloud-based note-taking app and spin my webs of whimsy. Sometimes the answer comes to me instantaneously, like catching a star right out of the night sky. Sometimes the answer comes slowly and needs massaging from my mind through meditative yoga and heavy drinking. And sometimes I give up and do something about farts. This month, I looked around me at the ongoing struggle with the pandemic, the tensions between people, the protests, the fraught conversations about society, and I took a good look at myself. I thought, what can I do to lift people's spirits and advance the world through this podcast? And listener, I'm proud to say that I shrank from the challenge entirely and sold off the entire episode to advertising concerns. Enjoy. See you at the end. You have to write from the heart. If we don't care about these people, we're not going to laugh and we're not going to cry. Meet your new instructor. Hi, I'm Marty Q. Fingerheimer, and I've been working in Hollywood as a professional screenwriter for 40 years. The Q stands for question, but you don't need to know that. My parents liked mysteries. In our series of exclusive writing workshops, you'll learn everything you need to know about how to write your first movie. Denise, the first act is weak. You need to grab us straight away, right out the gate. Every single one of the screenplays I've had produced has led with something big. An exploding beer keg, a runaway elephant, something. Do it again. Your instructor will draw on his unique experiences of over 40 years in the industry. You very frequently run into third act problems. In this one movie I wrote on, a college comedy called Chuggers 5, Return to Boob Mountain, I said to the director, Bob, I just don't care about this quest for the golden bra. I need personal investment. Maybe the golden bra is the kid's father or something. You'll receive personally tailored feedback for your screenplay from an industry professional. Right, Margie, you've got the knife fight sequence, great. The confrontation with the dad, great. But the tone is all over the place. Is this a dark comedy or a hard-hitting drama? Because if it's a hard-hitting drama, why am I laughing my ass off at this knife fight? A comprehensive examination of the storytelling lessons we can learn from the history of film. I remember on one project I worked on, Chuggers 5, Return to Boob Mountain, the director had his doubts about the main character, Crantony. He said, we really gotta root for this guy. I said, let's go back to the classics, Casablanca. Bogart turns down the call to action, and only in the end does he come through for the resistance. I told him, Bob, let's have Crantony decide to stay home from Timmy Rockefeller's pool party at first. Then, at the last minute, pow, he rides in on a pig holding a six-pack. The crowds went crazy. The tools you need to improve your script structure and impact. The classic 3-act structure never fails. Here's just one example. Act 1, Crantony needs to get laid before graduation. Act 2, Crantony tries to get laid at Timmy Rockefeller's pool party and fails. Act 3, Crantony finds the golden bra on Boob Mountain and gets laid by the Queen of Lesberia. Bulletproof. The secrets to a successful screenplay, as used in countless movies you love. You have the false defeat. All is lost. Very important. In Star Wars, it's the destruction of Alderaan. In Jurassic Park, it's the T-Rex eating the dude on the John. In Chuggers 5, Return to Boob Mountain, it's when Crantony gets pantsed by Meathead McMurphy at Makeout Point. Soak in the wisdom of a writer with multiple IMDb credits. Don't check. The low point. At the end of Act 2, your protagonist or protagonists are at the lowest point in their journey. Either they've suffered a defeat or they've lost faith in themselves on the journey to their goal. For example, in Chuggers 5, Return to Boob Mountain, Crantony's been rejected by every girl at Timmy Rockefeller's pool party, even Bleffany Hurwitz, who wears glasses, and he's at his lowest. But we have to go big here. We have to really take him as low as he can go. So boom, the party keg explodes, and oh dear, what's this? Is that a runaway elephant? Applications are open now. Please don't check IMDb. I know what I'm talking about. I wrote Chuggers 5, Return to Boob Mountain.
Hello, this is Crowley Time with me, Tom Crowley with me, Tom Crowley. We can't take your call at the moment. Please leave your message after the tone. Hello all, I've got a new audiobook on sale now that I'd love to draw your attention to. It's a work of true crime reportage about a murder, very popular at the moment. Lots of good feedback so far, but the only catch is that it's about a murder that I committed, so...
Modern life can be stressful. Keeping track of your finances, staying motivated in your work, maintaining healthy relationships with your nearest and dearest. I reached a point where I was lying in bed in the mornings just thinking, why get up?
You sometimes wonder what it's all about, and sometimes that thought can be really scary.
Do you find yourself struggling sometimes? Do you wish you could exert more control over the direction your life is taking? The old day in, day out, I've never adapted well to routine, and the job just demanded that discipline all the time. You fight and fight to keep the cash coming in, and then just see it leave the account on rent and bills each month, and you don't feel like you can really build anything. Do you wish you were more confident and assertive in your dealings with people? I was very timid. Not likely to speak up for myself, no.
Couldn't handle confrontation, not at all.
Are you ready for a change? To see new places and meet new people every day. I longed for something different. I craved it.
Just to have something new. That's what I needed.
Then perhaps you should consider becoming a hired killer. The change was immediate.
I knew I was finally choosing my own path.
A career as a hired killer offers new opportunities, worldwide travel, and transferable specialist training.
Much more confident just in my body, in my ability. I found it easier to meet new people straight away.
Research has shown that hired killers are more likely to be alert, keep physically fit, and demonstrate keen attention to detail.
I didn't used to be able to order my thoughts in the way that I can now. I never used to get much exercise, but now I know my body is a temple, and I should treat it like one.
Whether you're garrotting small-time drug dealers on a housing estate in South London, or picking off billionaire CEOs through the window of their penthouse apartment in Dubai, a hired killer's life is always filled with variety and adventure.
No 2 days are the same. I wanted a change, and now I get one every morning.
Hired killers are highly skilled, in short supply, and always in demand. And the take-home pay reflects that.
When I think about the way I used to fret about my council tax bill, now I live in international waters. Finally bought my dad that new shed he wanted so much.
Being a hired killer requires grit, determination, and at least one of several unique personality traits.
I used to look out the window of my flat and see the little people walking around and think, oh look, they're like ants. Now I know they are. They are ants. We're all just creatures. I never understood this idea that other people have feelings the same as me, that other people exist in the same way that I do.
But for the right candidate, professional killing isn't just a rewarding career, It's a way of life. Very intense, almost sexual thrill at first, but now it's more like going through the motions, really, like just doing the washing or something. The first time I took someone else's life, I had this realization, like, wow, this must be how God feels, to have this control over life and death. And now I realize that I am God. So, fill in an application form at our website or at your local Job Centre Plus and find out if you're ready to become a hired killer. I used to ask who the guy was, what had they done? But now I'm just like, hurry up and give me the photo, boom. Next. There's another couple $100,000. Up close is always better. I like to do this thing where I make them say my name right before and then reminds me I'm alive, and they're not. I'm Anna, and I'm a hired killer. My name's Craig, and I'm a hired killer. Hired killers. Make killing your living.
Energy drinks. I've got energy drinks, illegal energy drinks, mainly from Eastern Europe and Alaska. These are energy drinks for long-haul truckers. These are the real flipping deal. Energy drinks everywhere. Come and get these energy drinks. The doctor says if I have any more, I'll die. But I'm addicted to the shakes, so buy them quick and save me from myself. Woo-hoo!
Hey, asshole! It's me, Mike Shinbone from Shinbone Entrepreneurials, and let me tell ya, I got a product for you. That's right, so put down the goddamn microwave cheese fries, get some self-respect, and listen to this crap. At Shinbone, we got a whole catalog of top-of-the-line products for the home you can purchase, only we don't send out a real catalog because guess what? It ain't 1995 no more, genius. We can't be wasting all that paper and ink and staples. Ain't you never heard of the fucking planet or what? Give me a break. First up, we got the patented pending Shinbone rice washer. You know how it is, you boiled up some delicious plain rice, but you put too much water in the pan, you mixed up the quantities in your head, and now the rice is soft, but it's all soggy and shit. Jesus! So you get out your sieve or your strainer, and you pour out the rice, and you shake it all out, but then you look in the sink, and fuck me! Some of the rice came out of the holes, and it's sitting in the sink with the dirty dishes, and you can't eat that crap, so you just wasted some rice, didn't you, you fucking putz? And it's like, Jesus Christ, I paid for that goddamn rice. Well, no more with the rice washer. With our unique device, you ain't never gonna lose no rice no more ever again, thank the sweet Lord. Where most strainers and shit have a bunch of holes all around the goddamn place where all the rice and everything comes out, the rice washer is a 100% aluminum bowl with just one tiny hole at the very bottom, 1 millimeter wide. Well, golly, I'd like to see some piece of shit grain of rice try to get through there. The treated aluminum is easy to wipe clean with a wet bath towel or one of our very own Shinbone antimicrobial wet wipes, and it's got a handle. The rice washer is available for a limited time offer price of $29.38, and it comes with a bonus handle so you can't complain if the first handle falls off. Order now, cause I'm storing them at my brother's lockup in Burlington and he's getting awful itchy cause he's got a shipment of fur coats coming in real soon. So get them now. In fact, what the fuck, 2 for 1. 2 rice washers for the... No, buy one, get one half price. Get the second one as a backup or a present for some jerk you like. Feel free, my friend. The rice washer. Move your ass and buy one and a half. Next up, it's the Shinbone sauce rack. You know how it is. You got all these sauce bottles. You got your ketchup and your hot Cholula or whatever. And the mustard and I don't know what else you put in your fucking hot dog, alright? But you get the picture. Enter the Shinbone sauce rack. Now, are you listening yet, wise guy? Pay attention. The Shinbone sauce rack. You stick this baby on the wall, boom, you got a home for all the sauces, whatever you want. You got a classic tall bottle of ketchup, boom, there it goes in the sauce rack. You got some weird shaped Asian thing or whatever, some kind of oyster thing, boom, in it goes in the sauce rack. You got some screwy little European mustard shit, boom, in it goes. And the sauce rack is engineered to hold all these containers upside down, so you don't got all the ketchup stuck down the bottom of the bottle and you get your knife and dig in there, but the neck of the bottle's too small and you're just about to bust a fucking ventricle and stick your head through the wall thinking, what fucking mook designed this for cock to bottle, cause I got better things to do than spend all day trying to get a dribble of tomato sauce out of this fucking abomination for my chicken parm. Well, no more with the sauce rack. Hey, maybe you're one of these freaks who likes to keep their sauces in the refrigerator because you're worried they're gonna be too warm to stick on your TV dinner or whatever. Like, who do you think you are, asshole? It's not gonna revive those peas that look like they dug them out with King Tutankhamun. If that's you, then good news, prickhole. The sauce rack comes with 3 chill pockets for whatever weird shit you want to keep cold in there, alright? Now I'm gonna be straight with you deadbeats. I had 1,000 of these fucking things made up, and quite frankly, I think the manufacturer saw me coming a mile away. I paid up front. 2 weeks later, he leaves 100 boxes of these fucking things on my doorstep, does a donut on my lawn, and drives away yelling, "Have fun, douchebag," and throwing beer cans out of the window. Holy cow. If I ever see that four-fingered son of a bitch again, I tell you. But anyway, here they are, the Shinbone Sauce Rack. 30 bucks a pop, 35 for two, and if you take the whole sorry bunch of them away, you can have the whole schmear for 200 bucks. Seriously, maybe you'll have better luck than I did, goddammit. What do we have last on the conveyor belt of joy today? Why, is the Shinbone Table Jack. So picture this fucking medieval tapestry, bright eyes. You're sitting in your stained fucking pajama pants on your couch, you're watching the women's volleyball finals or whatever wholesome pastimes you get up to when you're left to your own goddamn devices, and you're just sticking cheese cracker after cheese cracker in your useless, unshaven goddamn face. Sounds pretty fucking familiar, don't it? Well, one of those cheese crackers escapes the iron grip of your limp vestigial fingers, and whoa, it rolls right under the coffee table, which I'm picturing is coated in cigarette butts and decade-old copies of Disinterested Housewives magazine. And you know what? Your unemployment check didn't come through on time, and you ain't ate a vegetable in 3 years, and you just can't summon up the motivation to lift up that table and grab that cheese cracker. Is this ringing any bells, Charles Atlas? Well, sing hallelujah to your fucking maker, 'cause here it is, the Shinbone Table Jack. Simply stick this crap under your coffee table, crank the jack, and hey presto, up comes the end of the table. Just like a regular car jack on your 1972 Pinto, only your coffee table won't leak transmission fluid all over the tarmac when you do it. Ain't that a fucking treat? Jack up the table jack, and hey presto, there's that cheese cracker, covered in dust bunnies and pubic hair, and you can lie to yourself that you're not going to eat it for as long as you want before it makes its inevitable way to the auto wrecking yard you call your small intestine. If only your father was alive to see this, huh? The table jack uses reinforced steel springs and is carpeted on both paddles, so you won't cut a big scratch in the linoleum like when you dropped your old high school wrestling trophy and you didn't even bother to pick it up again for a week. Mother Mary, what a Michelangelo fresco that was. The Shinbone Table Jack, only $49.90. No, you know what? Don't bother. Don't even buy one. I don't even want you to. I like sharing my home with 60 crates of the goddamn things, and so does my mom. Keep your stinking money, you scab. Go spend it on a shiny new inflatable woman like you always wanted. Shinbone Entrepreneurials. Don't even bother. I'm just doing this for my health. Turn off the microphone, Ma. I need a drink.
Hello, I've got rather a large amount of Second World War memorabilia here. Uniforms, some decommissioned firearms, flags. I think we all know what sort of material I'm talking about, let's face it, and I'd like to get rid of it all rather quickly, so please do call if you're interested in a discounted bulk order. It's all in pristine condition. My reason for selling is that my wife is on the verge of working out that we've got a basement.
This is a public service announcement on behalf of the rest of Netflix. We all know the story. You've settled in, slumped on the couch at the end of a long day. All you want is something entertaining, exciting, and involving to watch. So you fire up the Netflix app on your smart TV or games console and begin browsing. You finished your latest box set binge and watched all the films that don't look too challenging or too boring for a laid-back evening, so it's time to start scrolling. So, once you've gone through the first 20 rows of suggestions, you'll go back to the start and repeat the process until either you've settled for something you've already seen, or you've realized it's 11:30 now and you might as well go to bed. We've all been there. But next time you find yourself in this position, we implore you, break the cycle and keep scrolling. Of course, we understand that beyond those first 20 rows, things might start to look a little murky. Taiwanese soap operas you've never heard of with 38 seasons, truly nightmarish-looking CGI children's cartoons, and about 1,000 British gangster and football hooliganism films that make you wonder, who on earth put up the money for that? These lower-tier Netflix offerings are frightening and off-putting only because they're unfamiliar. And they'll stay unfamiliar as long as you keep not giving them a chance. Who's to say you won't enjoy the hard, firm 3 Mission to Marbella just as much as Narcos? Or that you're going to like Greta Gerwig's Lady Bird more than animated series Splat McPoo and the Squits just because the former is more widely known? And why do you automatically assume that Doctor Who is going to be better than its Portuguese remake, O Sexual Médico do Tempo? This spiral of ignorance is leaving countless labors of love by dedicated, caring creative teams chronically unwatched. That's why we've launched this awareness campaign. Say yes to the rest.
Yes.
A 78-minute film about a Ghanaian milkman with magic trousers.
Yes.
Surviving Dan, the Gary Sinise story.
Yes.
The Bollywood Inception.
Yes.
You pay your monthly Netflix subscription for access to the full library of our original and licensed programming. So when you think about it, rewatching Stranger Things over and over again really isn't value for money. And let's face it, you can't watch House of Cards without feeling weird anymore, so why not replace it with something a little off the beaten path?
Yes.
What about Hard Nut Raid, a British bank robbery thriller featuring exclusively actors who have somehow never been in anything else, ever?
You said we were splitting the score 5 ways even, Monty. The only thing I'm gonna split is your skull, Rod, you plum. You wanker!
Yes.
Or perhaps you'd be surprised to find yourself addicted to the twists and drama of Lactogeddon, a Swedish sci-fi series about a post-apocalyptic world where all the milk on Earth has vanished.
It's no use. We will never know milk again. No, Ava, you mustn't lose hope. These cornflakes are so dry.
Yes.
And let's not forget the anime adaptation of Kes.
Don't weaken now, Kez. We must be triumphant in battle.
I love you, Billy.
I love you too, Kez. But we must be strong, or else Mrs. Thatcher will close the mines.
You'll never stop me, Billy. Your battle skills are too weak.
Quick, Kez. Now is our moment.
Bladed wing strike.
Yes.
All of these programs were made with passion and ingenuity, some of them on extremely low budgets, and have been commissioned and bought for streaming on our platform. So they are real shows, no matter what people say. So we hope you'll join us in saying yes to the rest. But you don't have to take our word for it. Just listen to Frank Squat, the star of Hard Nut Raid.
Say yes to the bloody rest, you twats!
Yes.
Paid for by Amazon Prime. Well, golly gee. I sure hope you'll consider availing yourself of those many high-quality products and services. And I hope you enjoyed these fine examples of the art of advertising. Of course, Bill Hicks said that anyone involved in advertising should kill themselves. But then Bill Hicks never had to pay rent in 2020 London, and also, he's dead. And guess what, Bill? All of those adverts were made up. They were all me doing a joke. Checkmate, Hicks. Of course, as all of these adverts were entirely made up and performed by me, I have received no sponsorship money for them whatsoever. As such, I am, as ever, very grateful to all the lovely people who support this show to the tune of $2 per episode over on Patreon. This month, your bonus content is a new episode of Behind the Time, the series of bonus audio episodes where I reveal the secrets behind making this program. This episode is all about staying creative in lockdown and can be found at the usual place, patreon.com/CrowleyTime. If you'd like to hear that bonus material and gain access to all extra goodies past, present, and future, you can sign up as a supporter at the same place. That's patreon.com/CrowleyTime. I'll be glad you did. But while supporting this show is an eminently worthy cause, it is perhaps not the worthiest.
Here comes the serious bit.
In light of numerous recent and ongoing events, in the last month I've made a series of charitable donations to relevant causes, and if you've got the money to do so yourself, I would encourage you to do so as well. As for me, I've given to the Black Lives Matter Global Network, the Grenfell Foundation, the Black Trans Protesters Emergency Fund, and the National Bail Fund Network. If you're not able to make a monetary donation to these causes, then sharing and promoting them is very worthwhile work too, and it's free.
There goes the serious bit.
The next episode will be released when the local council collects that huge pile of fly tipping you have to look at every day. So make sure to subscribe, so you'll be alerted at the precise moment that happens. If you'd like some advice from Wingnut, our resident 5-year-old agony uncle, tweet at @ATomCrowley with the hashtag AskWingnut, and I'll make sure he sees it. You never know, your question might well be featured in a future episode. Everything you've just heard was made by me, Tom Crowley, except for the Netflix appeal piano score, which was by Mattia Cupelli. Please submit all praise, questions, or complaints to @ATomCrowley on Twitter. To fund my project to build a giant wooden statue of myself high-fiving the Angel of the North, go to patreon.com/CrowleyTime and become a supporter today. And remember, he who laughs last can be made out most distinctly in the TV comedy special.
Now, Diane, you need to establish your I want more clearly. Here we see your protagonist, Charlotte. She's 32. She never knew her birth mother. Sure, we assume she wants to find her, but we're not told this until it's about to happen. Now, in another film, like, for example, Chuggers 5, Return to Boob Mountain, we have Crantony saying out loud to his friend Frantony, I have to get laid before graduation. Now, that is the second line of dialogue spoken in the entire movie, right after Frantony's first line, Hi, Crantony, how are you today? In hindsight, we probably could have cut right to Crantony's line, but it was the 80s, we were on a lot of coke. So I would recommend adding a line right at the top of the screenplay where Charlotte says, ideally straight down the lens, I want to get laid before graduation. I want to find my birth mother. That way the audience knows where they stand, or where they sit. I don't know how these people watch movies today with their Netflix and their smartphones and their video on demand, and the whole thing's just way beyond me. I'm sorry. I saw a kid on the bus watching Lawrence of Arabia on their phone the other day, and the whole experience just left me real shaken up. I don't know where we can go from here with the tiny screens and everything. You know what I mean, Diane?